Welcome back. Something strange is happening in the entertainment world right now. A shift that didn't start with a movie, didn't start with an album, and didn't start with a scandal you'd normally expect. It started with perception. Just a month ago, Billie Eilish was still seen as untouchable, a once-in-a-generation star who could disappear for months and return even bigger. Now, celebrities are choosing their words carefully. Brands are moving cautiously. And insiders say the industry is watching her every move. But the real story isn't the backlash itself, it's how Billie and her brother Phineas O'Connell are responding to it. Because instead of stepping back, they may be stepping into something even bigger and far more dangerous for a global superstar. If this continues, we could be watching the moment a pop icon transforms into something completely different. So before we expose what's really going on behind the scenes, subscribe to the WokeWatch because the stories you're not supposed to question are exactly the ones we break down. For nearly a month now, the fallout surrounding Billie Eilish hasn't faded away, it has evolved. At first, it looked like a typical celebrity controversy, a few headlines, some social media arguments, a temporary storm that would pass. But instead of calming down, the situation spread outward like shockwaves through Hollywood. Suddenly, it wasn't just fans debating online, it was celebrities choosing sides. Some openly defended her, praising her for speaking out and standing firm. Others quietly stepped back, avoiding any public association altogether. And in Hollywood, silence often speaks louder than statements, because when major figures stop mentioning you, stop appearing with you, stop collaborating with you, it usually means something bigger is happening behind the scenes. What makes this situation different is that the reaction isn't unified. There isn't a clear for or against. There's uncertainty. Studios, brands, and industry executives don't just worry about controversy, they worry about unpredictability. An unpredictable star can be seen as a financial risk, and when millions of dollars are on the line, risk tolerance disappears quickly. Meanwhile, Billie herself hasn't retreated from the spotlight. If anything, she appears to be leaning into a new phase one that blends music, activism, and political messaging more directly than ever before. Much of that influence reportedly comes from her brother Phineas, who has never been shy about expressing strong views publicly. Together, they've built a creative partnership that shaped her sound and identity from the beginning. But now, that partnership may also be shaping the direction of her public image in ways the industry didn't anticipate. Reports suggest the two are considering appearances at events tied to the 2026 midterm season, not just as performers, but as voices within larger conversations. For fans who admire artists speaking out, this could strengthen her connection with them. For others who prefer entertainment separate from politics, it could create distance. And that divide is exactly what worries industry insiders. Because once an artist becomes associated with political messaging, everything they do afterward is filtered through that lens. Songs aren't just songs anymore. Interviews aren't just interviews. Every action becomes interpreted as a statement. History has shown how unpredictable that transition can be. Some artists reinvent themselves successfully. Others struggle to maintain the broad appeal that once made them global stars. Behind the scenes, there are whispers that not everyone on Billie's team agrees with this direction. Managers and advisors often prioritize long-term stability tours, endorsements, film deals, global campaigns. Those depend on widespread appeal across different audiences. When an artist's image becomes polarizing, those opportunities can shrink quickly. That's why tensions reportedly exist within her inner circle. Some believe she should focus purely on music and creative projects. Others believe using her platform for causes is exactly what defines her generation of artists. This internal push and pull could determine what happens next, and timing couldn't be more critical. Upcoming projects, including film releases and major tour plans, are approaching. Normally, these would dominate headlines for positive reasons, but now there's a risk they'll be overshadowed by controversy instead. Imagine preparing for a massive global release only to find the conversation isn't about the art, it's about the narrative surrounding the artist. That's the nightmare scenario for studios and investors. At the same time, Billie's fan base itself appears divided. Some supporters admire her willingness to take risks and speak openly. Others worry she's stepping into territory that could overshadow the music they originally connected with, the raw emotion, the vulnerability, the sound that made Billie Eilish feel different from everyone else in the first place. Because when fans fall in love with an artist, they're not just buying songs. They're buying a feeling, a moment in time, a version of themselves they associate with that music. And when that connection starts to feel uncertain, something shifts. When a fan base begins to split, the energy around an artist doesn't just change, it fractures. Concert atmospheres start to feel different. The crowd reaction becomes less unified. Moments that once felt electric start to feel tense. Online discussions become battlegrounds instead of celebrations. Instead of fans sharing excitement, they debate, argue, and question. Even media coverage subtly shifts tone. Headlines become less about achievements and more about controversy, speculation, and narrative. And this right here, this is the phase where careers hang in the balance. Because history shows two possible outcomes. Either the artist evolves, adapts, and emerges stronger, transforming criticism into momentum. Or they slowly drift away from mainstream dominance, not with a dramatic fall, but with a quiet fading of attention. What makes this moment even more complicated is the entertainment climate itself. Today's audiences are more fragmented than ever before. There's no single mainstream anymore, just clusters of communities, each reacting differently. Social media accelerates everything. A single clip can go viral in minutes. A single statement can dominate headlines overnight. A single misunderstanding can spiral into a global controversy before the artist even has time to respond. Public opinion doesn't move slowly anymore. It swings violently, sometimes multiple times in the same day. In that environment, even one decision can create consequences that echo for years. That's why some insiders believe Billie may be intentionally redefining her role, shifting from pop phenomenon to cultural figure. If that's the case, it's a transformation few artists navigate smoothly. Because cultural figures don't just attract fans. They attract movements, opposition, intense loyalty, and equally intense criticism. There's rarely a comfortable middle ground. And for someone who built her identity on relatability, on feeling like the outsider who understood everyone else's emotions, that shift could permanently reshape how audiences see her. She may gain a new audience, but she could also lose the one that made her a global icon. Which brings us to the biggest question hovering over all of this. Is this just a temporary storm, or the beginning of a permanent transformation? The entertainment industry has seen moments like this before, the exact point where a superstar stands at a crossroads. One path leads to reinvention. The other leads to gradual decline. Right now, no one, not fans, not critics, not even insiders, can say with certainty which direction this story will take. What we do know is that Hollywood is watching closely. Very closely. Studios are watching, brands are watching, fellow celebrities are watching, and most importantly, fans are watching. Because the next few months may determine whether Billie Eilish remains simply a music icon or evolves into something far more controversial, influential, and unpredictable. One thing is certain: the era where she could exist above the noise, untouched by the chaos surrounding the industry, may be coming to an end. Now, every appearance matters, every statement matters, every decision matters, and in today's climate, even silence can speak louder than words. But what do you think? Is this just another celebrity controversy that will fade away, or are we witnessing the beginning of a completely new chapter in Billie Eilish's career? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read everything. Hit like, subscribe to WokeWatch, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. Because trust me, this story is far from over.